Hey, there I am. YouTube. NATO just scrambled against the Russian planes.
Welcome in, everyone. I hope you guys are doing great wherever you're watching from today. We have some major news that is breaking and coming out. NATO forces have intercepted Russian planes. They were scrambled. Fighter jets were rushed into the sky to confront Russian aircraft that could not be identified as the situation between NATO and Russia continues to clearly
Intensify.
coming to a breaking point. And NATO previously said that they will consider a preemptive strike on Russia in order to confront Russian aggression in the
Yeah.
region and repeated violations
Take
of
out their
NATO
drone
airspace
facility.
by Russia, and including Russian spies, secret agents, whatever you want to call them, commandos, whatever you want to call them, sneaking into Poland and blowing up a critically important rail line. So the situation has new updates constantly. I'm here to bring them to you.
Great
Before we do, as always,
sabotage on top of
please
it
make sure
all.
to like and subscribe. Totally free. Cost you guys nothing at all. Huge boost to the channel. Comment with your thoughts below. Should the NATO forces shoot down the Russian planes?
Yeah,
How do
they
you
should
want
have been
this to
shooting them
go?
down
Will
already
we
instead
get
of being
into
so
a hot
passive.
conflict with Russia? What do you think?
NATO's
Let me
too
know
much
in
of
the
a
comments
wimp.
below. Hit that bell, all notifications turned on. You won't miss a
Oh,
thing.
they
I'm
were
right here,
supposed to be a
Instagram,
show of
David
force,
underscore Huckstead,
not
X D Huckstead. That's where you can find me on social media. DMs are
not
wide open.
spineless.
Reach out with whatever you got. And then in the video description and pinned comment is the link to our exclusive membership benefits, exclusive access perks, things like that. So go ahead and give that a check. Check that out. Now let's get into it. So I literally made a video previously about how NATO was saying we might preemptively strike Russia because Russia is waging a hybrid war against NATO with the fighter jet incursions, with the drone incursions, with the bombing in Poland. So NATO appears to finally be ready to do something big in response to the Russian aggression. Russia has a history of flying planes in the area with no flight plan, no registration, no official communication, and you never know.
Of
Hey, is
course.
this a spy plane? Is this a bomber?
Never
Is there
know
a
what you're
surprise
getting from
attack on the
Russia.
way? What the hell's going on? Is this going to
And they
breach
don't
NATO
react.
airspace?
That's
So
the
when that
NATO
happens,
doesn't
they
react at all.
scramble immediately fighter jets to make sure if the situation goes hot, the fighter jets can take care of it. And that is what happened. I'm going to put this up on the screen for you here. So this comes from multiple different news outlets. It says on November 30th, 2025.
Yeah,
So
time to
just
take
on this
pictures.
Sunday, November 30th, this happened, 2025. Polish air defense forces reported that F-16s and MiG-29s from the Polish Air Force, Poland obviously is a major member of NATO, repeatedly intercepted Russian aircraft over the Baltic Sea
Repeatedly.
after the Russian crews flew without
Jeez.
filed flight plans and with their transponders switched off. So the Russian planes were trying to hide. The fighter jets from the Polish Air Force rushed up there to make sure they could not breach Polish airspace or deploy any weapon systems they might have had. It says the Polish jets came from the standing NATO quick reaction alert rotation that Poland maintains for its F-16s, Block 52 Fighting Falcons at Malbork Air Base, and its MiG-29As based on the standard pairing. The F-16 element was almost certainly from the 31st Tactical Air Base, 3rd Tactical Squadron, and the MiGs were from the 22nd Tactical Air Base, 41st Tactical Squadron. These are the units that routinely perform Baltic Sea QRA tasking for the Polish National Command and the NATO Integrated Air and Missile Defense. The Russian aircraft shown here are the Ilyushin 20M Kude electric intelligence aircraft belonging to the Russian Aerospace Forces 117th Independent Radio Technical Reconnaissance Aviation Regiment under the 15th Army of the Aerospace Forces for special purpose. So let's see what else we got. So these are some more details. The intercept sequence described by Poland indicates that NATO controllers detected the planes approaching international airspace near the Polish flight information region boundary. QRA, that's the NATO quick reaction to get fighter jets up. QRA launch orders sent Polish F-16s and F-29 or MiG-29s to identify and shadow the aircraft and escort it out of the area. The Polish Air Force noted that similar incursions have occurred repeatedly over the recent weeks. So the Russians got these planes up there. The Russians were trying to hide the fact these planes were over the Baltic Sea, I believe. Yes, the Baltic Sea. And Poland responded with rushing up fighter jets, F-16s, MiG-29s
Should have
to
been
make
rushing up
sure that
prior
the
to this when
Russian
all those
threat
drones were flying.
didn't turn out to be a super serious one, didn't turn out to be one that might start a
Again,
war.
NATO is
And
supposed to
this
be a
again
show of
comes
strength
as we have NATO
and
saying we
unity
might go
between
for a
nations,
preemptive
but
strike.
it's such
We
a
might
spineless
open the salvo.
organization.
We
It's
might fire an
ridiculous.
opening salvo. Now, is that a bombing attack? Is that a ground incursion? I have no idea. NATO didn't say, but
Could be
they did
airborne.
say we will do this. We will do it. We're considering a preemptive strike. So that is not the only situation. Polish air defenses went high alert, highest level of alert. It says Poland put Patriot air defenses on alert as 4 Russian MiG 31s ballistic missile carriers approached its airspace. So it says this is also published on
Alert.
December 1st, 2025.
Be
Can't
using them to
believe it's
blow down the
already
drones.
December. The Polish Air Force placed U.S. supplied Patriot long range defense systems at the Rezino's Jauzinaka, I'm probably butchering that, airport on a high alert after 4 Russian MiGs, Foxhound tactical combat jets, flew westward over the Baltic Sea. The Russian aircraft were reportedly the MiG-31 variants designed to carry ballistic missiles, which have been specifically employed in Ukraine to neutralize Ukrainian Patriot missiles. The MiG-31 operated exclusively within Russian airspace, although they demonstrated highly potent long-range targeting capabilities were sufficient to cause significant concern. So Polish and German Patriot batteries were put on high alert. So that is a look right there of the MiG 31. And then that, of course, is a Patriot. That, of course, right there is a Patriot missile battery launcher. So I'm going to pull this off the screen real quick. Let's discuss this. Let's discuss this situation and what it means. It means the Russians are continuing to test NATO as NATO says, again, they'll do the preemptive strike. So what Russia is doing is they're likely trying to test response
And
times.
testing
They're
response
trying
times.
to get a gauge of how fast Poland can get their fighter jets in the air so that if this situation goes hot and a war with NATO starts, they have that information. So they're flying planes just close enough to Polish airspace to activate a Polish response, a NATO
Mm-hmm.
response. And then they are taking all that information, likely studying it, trying to figure out tactics. What type of fighter jets are they going to send up? What capabilities do they have? How many are they going to send up? This is Russia continuing to poke and prod and test
Yep.
NATO. And it comes,
Keep
as
poking
I
and
said
prodding.
before, I'm going to put
NATO
this
ain't
up
gonna
on the
do
screen for
anything.
you. It comes literally right after it says NATO preemptive strikes on Russia could be considered defensive action. So I'm just going to, for those of you who missed this in the first video, I'm just going to read a little bit of this. It says NATO is considering more aggressive measures towards Russia in response to its escalating hybrid war against the West, a top official said. Admiral Giuseppe or Giuseppe, I don't know,
Giuseppe.
Cavo Dragone, the head of the alliance's military committee, said being more aggressive or being more proactive instead of reactive
Yeah.
is something we are thinking about. A preemptive
Yeah,
strike
you
could
need
be
to be.
considered a defensive action, he told the Financial Times, but said it was further away from our normal way of thinking. And then right here, we'll throw this up on the screen for you. Russia, of course, responded by saying Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said the remarks were seen by Moscow as an extremely irresponsible step, indicating the alliance's readiness to continue moving towards escalation. We see it as a
Russia keeps
deliberate attempt to
escalating.
undermine efforts
That's
to
all they do is
overcome the
escalate,
Ukrainian
escalate,
crisis.
escalate.
The people making these statements should be aware of the risks and possible consequences, including for the alliance members themselves. So now we will stop sharing this. So that's kind of the backdrop we have right now. We have the Russians who continue to do highly provocative stuff. They continue
Mm-hmm.
to fly planes right up to NATO airspace and on multiple occasions have flown fighter jets into NATO countries, those being Estonia and Lithuania. They have repeatedly sent drones. Some of the drones have been shot down. None of the planes, as of making of this video, have been shot down. NATO is saying we might have to just turn the tables here and we might have to go first. We might have to launch the preemptive strike to make sure that Russia stops what they are doing. And as this is happening, the war in Ukraine continues to get worse and worse and worse, and the violence continues to hit new levels on a regular basis. So, what we are looking at here, what we are seeing here is escalation across the board. We are seeing escalation from all sides. And one of the dangers of this is it only takes one mistake or one misread of the situation for all of this to come crashing down. For example, let's say a Russian bomber or a spy plane or whatever it is accidentally breaches NATO airspace, but it was an accident. It was just there briefly. And then it gets blown out of the sky. So we shoot down some Russian bombers. What does Russia do next? What is the
Why are they
next move
flying
for the
near
Russians?
the
See, that's the trouble. We don't know.
air zone
Or better
anyway,
yet,
or the
what if
border?
Russia accidentally fires cruise missiles at Western Ukraine and they land in
Accidentally.
Poland and kill people in Poland? Now NATO will have to respond. We already
Yeah,
had an
there
incident where
needs to
one
be a
missile, I think,
response.
did land in Poland and killed 2 people, although that might have come from an air defense system. I don't really remember. And you have the fact they blew up the rail line in Poland. So they already did attack NATO, and NATO showed restraint at the time by
Time for
not
them to
letting
grow a
Poland
spine.
off the chain to go smash targets inside Russia. So that is where we are at. This situation continues to get
Time for them to
spicier
grow a
and
spine.
spicier and crazier and crazier as all eyes turn to what might happen next at any given time. It is a developing situation, but I want to know what you guys think. What do you think of Polish fighters?
Ridiculous. All right, let's make a video real quick. Short and a video.
Activate a they demonstrated a highly post on
Alert.
December